Well, good evening. My name is Steve Christian. I'm the chairman of the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership for 26 and 27. I want to thank everybody for coming out here today. And it's probably good for all of us to get out of the house. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks, so it's good to see everybody, and I appreciate that you all came out this evening. Tonight's reception, we've got a list of special guests I need to go through here. So we'll start out, hold on applause till the conclusion, but we'll start out. We've got Jeremy Shanklin of Senator Bernie Moreno's office. Michael Perkins is here somewhere. Bryn Stepp, officer of Senator John Husted. Senator Shane Wilkin, Ohio Senate. Representative Jason Stevens, Ohio House of Representatives. Bonnie Ward, Office of Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. John Kerry, Governor's Office of Appalachia. Scott Ryan, Jobs Ohio. Adele Evans, ODOT Office of Jobs and Commerce. Alice Frazier, our Jackson County Coroner. Ted Frazier, our Jackson County Sheriff. Tiffany Ridgway, Jackson County Auditor. Paul Haller, Jackson County Commissioner. Trent Valcott, Jackson County Prosecutor. John Hensler, Jackson County Commissioner. Donnie Willis, Jackson County Commissioner. Mayor Randy Evans, City of Jackson. Gloria Blavelt, Project Manager, Ohio Southeast Economic Development. Anthony West? Okay. Matt Abbott, President and CEO of Ohio Southeast Economic Development. Tammy Leonardo, Greater Chillicothe, Ross County Development. Tiffany Master, Greater Chillicothe, Ross County Development. Taylor Stepp, Director of Office Development and Center for Entrepreneurship, University of Rio Grande. Judy Kiefer, Treasurer, Jackson County Economic Development Partnership. Jason Brown, I didn't see him, but Jason Brown, Past Chair, Jackson County Economic Development Partnership. Joe White, Past Chair, Jackson County Economic Development Partnership. And Larry Kidd, Past Chair, Jackson County Economic Development Partnership. Welcome and thank you for coming. Now I'll turn the program over to our CEO, Sam Brady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are privileged tonight to be joined by some legislative partners representing us in the State General Assembly, and we're pleased tonight to welcome Senator Shane Wilkin, Ohio 17th District, for some brief remarks, and he will politely exit as he goes. He has a basketball game to get to, so we do appreciate his time this evening. Senator Wilkin.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Raise your hand if you're tired of the snow yet. So, as he said, my name is Shane Wilkin. I am the state senator for Ohio 17th Senate District. I represent 10 counties, 9.5 technically. I have part of Perry, but it's tough to represent just half of the county when you're doing stuff for all of them. So, essentially, represent 10 counties here in Southern Ohio. I'm very grateful and appreciative that I get to do this. It's a great area. It's where I grew up. Born and raised in Highland County, and enjoy the area, really enjoy the people, and feel like you have a good understanding for what it is we want, what it is we can get done here in Southern Ohio. One of the things I wanted to do is pass on the regrets from my wife. Most of you know her, or a lot of you know her. It is Judge Christy Wilkin. She's a 4th District Court of Appeals judge. She would be here, but people talk about we want real people in politics. Well, I would say I think we're pretty real because we have 2 daughters playing basketball, and as Sam said, when I get done, I'm going to scoot out and drive the speed limit, Sheriff, to Portsmouth West to try and catch the game at 7 o'clock. But that's where she is when I told her. I said, I'm just going to make remarks. I'll be brief and we'll be on our way. She looked at me and she goes, I don't believe you. I'm going to catch a ride with another family and just make sure you don't forget to come and pick me up. So that's where she's at. So she stems her regrets. But just a couple things I wanted to talk about here. Over the time that I've been in the Senate, you may not know it, you may know it, some do. to attain about almost right around $8 million for Jackson County. Between the cities, Wellston and Jackson and the county itself, about $8 million. And it's always a pleasure to get to advocate for that. A lot's of it through our capital budget. We did have some other one-time money through the Appalachian Grant. But I was just talking to some folks. The capital budget is coming up. Actually, my staff in the State House is fairly new. They're going to go through training tomorrow and get the dates. And I've told people, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. But I can't guarantee you a yes. With 10 counties, it is tough at times to pick and choose, but you've got to figure out which projects you can fund and which are going to have the most impact. And one of the things I want to pay a compliment to is the elected officials here that are in Jackson County and that represent Jackson County and your economic development. You don't get projects and you don't get businesses, and you don't get jobs unless you're doing one thing, and that's being prepared. If you're prepared, if you're prepared for an opportunity, people say, oh, Jackson's lucky, they got this, they got that. Are they lucky or are they prepared? Because you're not getting big economic projects every 6 months, every year. So it's having that drive, that vision, that stick-to-itiveness, as we would say here in Southern Ohio, that we're going to stick to our plan, we're going to be ready. So when that opportunity presents itself, we're going to be ready, and we're going to have a shot at landing that project. So I want to compliment all the elected officials that I get to work with here in Jackson County. It's a true pleasure, and I really appreciate your support. I appreciate the things that we get to work on together, the projects. Some of them kind of pop up out of the blue, and when you get to make things like that happen, it's great. We also have great partners in Ohio Southeast. Matt Abbott's right down here. I know Dennis is here somewhere. Great partners through them. I pride myself in trying to be someone that builds a good relationship. And when I go to them and say, hey, I need help with X, they know I'm not coming to them with every little single thing. It's a real project. It's attainable. It's something we can get done. Also with Jobs Ohio, that's it as well. I'm very happy with the relationship I have with the Ohio Department of Development, which has been very helpful, particularly on General Tibbetts Drive. I had a phone call with one of the commissioners. He was talking about it, and I'm like, shoot, we can get money for that. And sure enough, we were able to do it. And Director Mahalik was one that really pulled through and helped us out there. So with that, I did have a gentleman tell me, you need to keep this at the speed of business. I won't point him out, but I probably already went a little bit long. But I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to represent and advocate for Jackson County. And thank you all very much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wilken. We're also pleased tonight to welcome our state representative, Jason Stevens. He's here with us tonight, and he has some brief remarks as well he'd like to share with us.
Thank you, Sam. It's good to be here tonight. Good to see everybody. Food's amazing, so it's always good when Rowdy's is catering an event. It's really an honor to serve, and I know Shane talked about it a lot, of working with a group of people who are really are working. And I called Sam the other day. I said, "Where are you at?" He goes, "I'm in my office, of course." So it's always good to came up and visited and have a conversation. As Shane mentioned, we were able to get a lot of good things here for Jackson County. One of the things that's important, and I see John Kerry here. So when I was first elected as a county commissioner in Lawrence County 25 years ago, John was all of our state rep. And I asked him, I said, what is the advice you give a new guy? And he said, make sure you understand the budget inside and out. And so, I learned that at the county level. And so then you go up to the state level and you see there's a lot of different opportunities to help your community through the state budget and whatnot. And some of those are the direct funding, the one-time budget, or the one-time money as you drive around. You see the new park in Wellston, or the Memorial Hall activities going in Jackson. But one of the cooler things that we have is the Rural Industrial Loan Program. And one of the things we were able to do last GA was to put about $30 million into that, which is going to help a lot of communities. This past GA, they tried to get zeroed out, and we got some more money back into that. But that was one of those programs that actually helped. I'm looking at Sam to make sure the HERS building, correct? No, not the HERS building. The spec building, my bad. Behind the HERS building. So anyway, those are the kind of opportunities when you're able to build and be prepared, as Shane said, if your community's prepared for business and investment to come in, that is when you really start growing. And when you can grow and keep that momentum going, it really does make a difference in the community. And I really appreciate being a partner with the partnership to help make those things happen. So it's an honor to be here tonight. I'll keep my remarks brief, but again, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Stevens. Now, our next speaker, this actually is going to be a real treat. It's been a real treat to get to know this gentleman and to learn more about his business, his award-winning business, may I add. Every year, our office partners with the Women's Business Center and the Economic and Community Development Institute, and I do believe Chris Smalley is here somewhere, representing CDI. There he is. Almost didn't notice you that big subtle name tag. Anyway, we actually partner with them on a program called the Ignite Pitch Boot Camp. And several counties in the region actually host this, and local entrepreneurs, local business owners get the opportunity to actually get small business training through this program, and at the end of it, they pitch their business, whether it be an existing business or an idea, and there is legitimate prize money involved. And we actually are privileged tonight to have Sky Photo, owned by Brent Copper. Come on, Brent. And Sky Photo is actually a drone imagery business doing great work. Has some very impressive. You're actually just a drone operator. You're a drone pilot, correct? You never did get the Top Gun jacket, but he actually won the Jackson County pitch event, and then went on to the finals, where he came in second in the entire region. Was able to win just about $7,000 to invest in his business. So I've actually invited him tonight to come speak about his business. We're actually already using him to do drone photography, do drone imagery, of some sites. I know Ohio Southeast has engaged him for the same. It's a fantastic business, and we're actually very proud to have him in our community. So, Brandon, if you'd like to say a few words and just discuss your business, we appreciate it.
So, about this time last year, I was laying in bed, kind of doom scrolling on Facebook, and I seen John Stabler and something up about Ignite Boot Camp. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I'm going to check that out. So I clicked it, and put me in touch with ACDI, Bonnie Barker, down in Portsmouth, and she said, hey, you're kind of against it right now. We've already had a couple of these classes, so you can't miss anything. So I showed up, and I learned a lot. Coach Rebecca Farley, she helped me out a lot too with this. And I just want to thank these people, the ECDI, Jackson County Economic Development, and Ohio IC, who's here as well. And you know, they've given me some of my favorite jobs. I get to see the things that they let me see. So I want to thank them, and you know, just thanks for everything, guys. I appreciate it.
So as this video kind of plays out, it was already at the barn image in there. So I invite you to go to his Facebook, he has a website, his Facebook presence. Go to his website, check out some of his work. He actually has some really artistic pieces he's done using drone photography. And it's a great innovative business here in our community, growing, and he is licensed, certified, and qualified, and we're very happy to draw attention to him, and we encourage encourage especially real estate developers, please get with Brent. He is an invaluable resource. Now, every year I get a lot of criticism that I stand up here way too long and say too much. So tonight's presentation has been specifically crafted to keep me moving. So first and foremost, what I want to do is what we came here to do, is say thank you. Thank you to our investors. Thank you to our stakeholders. Thank you to our partners that actually make our mission possible. Our mission of attracting new investment to this community. Our mission of helping facilitate job creation with our stakeholder companies, the new companies we're attracting. We couldn't do it without you, and from the bottom of our heart, thank you. Those are not the entirety of our remarks. We do have a few metrics we'd like to share. Namely, in 2025, we're able to successfully win 16 different business development projects in Jackson County, seeing a net new job creation of 73 FTE jobs in our community, and 96 jobs retained. 27 different technical assistance referrals to organizations like the Women's Business Center, the Small Business Development Center. Thank you to those partners that make those specialized technical assistance referrals and the things that we need possible, as well as 8 different community development and placemaking projects, and 7 different site and asset development projects. And a stat that I am particularly proud of, because this is normally the part of the night where I pull out a little plastic trophy, and I talk a lot of smack, particularly about Ross County. Thank you, Tony. Because we are very proud of the relationships we have with our existing businesses. And I'm very proud that we actually had a record-breaking year for Jackson County for business retention expansion visits. And we actually secured 41 different unique business retention visits with existing businesses here in Jackson County. And that is not quite the goal I set for us. I was actually trying to get 50. We got real close, but we're very proud of that work. And there is an unofficial competition. I'm told we'll know later on whether or not. I think the votes for that, are being tabulated in Fulton County, Georgia. It's all kind of controversy. However, another number that I'm particularly proud of for 2025 is our new capital investment number, which is $212 million. And as both Senator Wilkin and Rep. Stevens alluded to, those things do not happen overnight. The bulk of that actually occurred over a project that took 6 years to develop. This work is not fast. It's by no means speedy. It's slow. It's grinding. It's relentless, and it takes all of us to do it. So that's good job, Jackson County. Another noteworthy project that got underway in May of last year is the Wellston Medical Office Building. Of course, funded through the Appalachian Community Grant Program, through the Ohio Department of Development, Director Carey. We're very grateful for Director Mahalik and Governor DeWine's investment in Jackson County with this project. It is, Mayor Evans, we're about right at 50% complete here. So we are officially at 50% complete. Doesn't look a lot different from the outside, but as you move inside, it is taking shape. That's actually some very early pictures. That's not a skating rink, that's actually the sky coming through the roof at the time. It has been since repaired, but we now have fully formed walls, but the building's being roughed in. I spend most of my time up there just looking at pictures of Randy Evans, as you see. project is moving ahead and will be complete here in just about 2 months. We expect final completion. We are on the glide path, and very soon there will be full-service primary care and a retail pharmacy in the city of Wellston where there is none currently. So I'm very proud of this. Another project we got completed in 2025. This has been one that's near and dear to our hearts, and this map flag just looked great. We were able to partner with the county commissioners on a redesign of the Jackson County flag, as well as the county emblem and seal. And we're very proud of the work that went into that, and that was led by our own Nicole Havens, our own Jackson County Betsy Ross. Of course, the work we do here, it's not done in a vacuum. I promise you, I'm not doing it myself. It wouldn't happen without John Stabler and Nicole Havens doing the heavy lifting, doing the wrench training for us, and we're very proud to have them working for Jackson County. Some more projects that got completed. Brownfield remediation dollars were used to demolish and actually do some remediation and demolition work there at Adams Bakery. Please see Mia Henry about that. She's anxious to put something there, aren't you? As well as those brownfield dollars are being used to leverage, actually help the city of Jackson demolish the old memorial building. Very excited to see that project take shape. And very proud to be a part of that. That's only Mayor, that's not the final design. It's just kind of just a really rough rendering. But able to actually have 2 Jackson County companies, BCR, which is here at attendance tonight, actually do a great job of salvaging the existing limestone they wanted to reuse from the building, and then Renmar doing the actual demolition. And I'm going the wrong way. Those are just kind of the highlights of where we're at. And I promise I will be brief. I wish Steve Evans were here to actually hear that. I know you see it's a little frustrated when I go along. But this didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened because of all our partners here, our partners with Ohio Southeast, our partners with GOA, our partners with JEDISA, our partners, University of Rio Grande, just every single agency that we get here and list all night long. It happens because everyone's pulling together. And again, we thank you. We thank you for your investment. If you are a current investor in the partnership, we thank you for your investment. We encourage you to keep going. If you've not invested financially in the partnership, we encourage you to do so. We will be beginning our actual fundraising campaign here directly, but it takes a community to make it happen. So with that being said, I'm actually going to invite up now our keynote speaker for the evening, and that's Matt Abbott. He's the president and CEO of Ohio Southeast Economic Development. He's by no means a stranger to the profession. He was a local economic development leader like us for 10 years in Muskingum County. So we are very pleased and honored to have him here tonight. He's been doing a great job, and had headwinds right out of the gate with the Pixel closure in Ross County. But he and his team helped our Ross County neighbors navigate that, and we're already seeing a turnaround there, and we have reason for optimism. So please welcome Matt Abbott.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Really a pleasure for me to be here and be back in Jackson. Sitting in the back, standing in the back with Commissioner Willis and Commissioner Haller. And Commissioner Willis and I were standing next to each other. And Commissioner Haller got behind us. And he said, left tackle, right tackle. So it is Super Bowl Sunday coming up, so I figured a football analogy would work. But we would have you back, Commissioner, and get it done. So. I had the opportunity today to spend some time with Sam and drive around your community. And it's Sam's passion for Jackson County, his passion for the community, his passion to work with all of you and represent you in a positive manner is seen. It's seen how you go to a restaurant at lunch and people are coming up and they want to talk to Sam. And they want to see what's going on and what he's been into. So, every community doesn't have that. Around the 25 counties we represent, represent around the state of Ohio. So we're very fortunate from our team in Ohio Southeast, and you all are very fortunate to have people like Sam. So I appreciate all Sam does and helps with Ohio Southeast. So a little bit about Ohio Southeast. We're one of 7 network partners to Jobs Ohio. So Jobs Ohio is the state economic development engine. It's a private, not-for-profit industry. Jobs Ohio in 2011 purchased the state liquor franchise and operates the state liquor franchise in the state of Ohio. Pays money back to the General Assembly, and what's left goes into economic development in the state of Ohio. So, some of my colleagues at Jobs Ohio say the more you drink, the more Jobs Ohio gets funded. So the more projects and money gets to go out to communities, but do it responsibly. But we cover 1/3 of Ohio as far as land mass. We represent small communities. I'm from a small community in Muscatine County, in Zanesville. I live in New Concord, and worked in local economic development. So small communities are very important. Our largest city is about 27,000, but our population is 1 million. So we do a lot of different things, working with Jobs Ohio, project management, business development, so speculative buildings that you have here in your community. There are people looking at those buildings, and Sam and his team are marketing those all the time, and those are great opportunities for new investment to come into our community, and we love partnering to get things like that online, so we'll continue to do so. Site development, Senator Wilk talked about being prepared. And if you're not prepared, no matter what you do in life, economic development, it's not rocket science. You have to be prepared. You got to have a site that the market is demanding. You need to have a building that the market's demanding. And that's what we try to do. We try to help communities get those for their citizens to create opportunities for workforce. Our team is sprinkled around the 25 region, and Gloria Baudel is with us today. Gloria's been a project manager here in Jackson County for quite some time, and been very involved and active, and she's leading our business development efforts. So, we're very excited the work that she continues to do for the region, but we're spaced out. It's a big area to cover, but you get to meet a lot of new people, see a lot of new communities, and trade ideas. And I think the showing of the colleagues from surrounding communities that are here today, is impressive to have folks from Galley County, Ross County, Pike County that are coming here to show support for Southern Ohio and for our region. So it's great to see. Our historic results, so projects that we've worked on with our local partners throughout the 25 county region since inception. Over 460 projects have come across our region, jobs created, over 13,000 new jobs, and investment over $16 billion in new capital investment. We have supported over 460 expansion and attraction projects. So that is a good number, a number that we will continue to work on as far as getting projects. And when we talk about projects, it's about Jobs Ohio dollars that's been infused to help a business expand, to help a business grow their talent and workforce, or help a business be attracted to the communities that they so choose. Over the past 5 years, we're in the midst of revamping our strategic plan, but looking at what was set forward for the organization with our local partners over the past 5 years. A lot of these numbers speak for themselves. The projection 5 years ago was to have 41 businesses expand in the region. There were 244. Jobs retained, 11,500. There were 31,000. New jobs, 825 new jobs were slated to happen in a 5-year period. 5,700 happened. So, in the investment show. So, very excited about those numbers, and really very excited about where the region is going to go. Just Jackson County alone, the team has worked 32 projects, fixed asset capital investment, closing in on $300 million. These are with Jobs Ohio incentives and investment. Over 1,000 jobs created, 7,300 jobs retained, and Jobs Ohio executed programs. Over $5 million have been infused into Jackson County. This is all since 2011. So looking at the impact of what a company moving in or a company expanding in your community, what that does, the direct impact are those new jobs that are coming to your community, but why it's so important for other ancillary companies to support organizations like Sam's organization here in Jackson County, or organizations in the county that you live, the indirect impact, which we're seeing a lot of indirect impact. So we see announcements like Intel happening in Licking County. We see Andrew, we see Joby Aviation, Honda, LG. And we think all those things they're coming to Ohio. That's great. But why are they not coming here? You know, sometimes we ask that question. The question we need to ask is, what's their supply chain? Who's supplying materials? Who's supplying equipment, the widget for unmanned aircraft that goes into the process at Joby Aviation? And how can we get in front of those suppliers? And what we have found, you know, through some of this research with companies like Intel, a lot of companies already here had contracts with Intel or had contracts with something similar. And they're, by landing that company in Ohio, they're having the ability to expand their company here. So indirect impact, you know, it's not the jobs you're reading about necessarily in the paper, the new jobs coming in, but it's the jobs that are infused indirectly by that investment. And then the induced impact that comes along. So car dealerships, insurance companies, bankers, we're going to need more houses. You know, things, when good things are happening, things have trickle-down effect as far as economics is concerned. And that's why economic development is not just a game of big companies. It's a game of companies large, medium, and small. Everybody needs to be involved. If somebody benefits in that large, medium, and small category, it's going to be an opportunity for everyone. And that's ultimately the goal and what we continue to try to do. So looking at the targeted industries and sectors with Jobs Ohio, healthcare and social assistance, you know, do make up a large percentage of what our communities are made up of: retail, trade, arts, entertainment, government, real estate, other sectors. But you see the dark green, 35% are the Jobs Ohio sector industries that are being targeted for investment within our communities. This is a slide that just really illustrates the direct, indirect, and induced job impact. So looking at the direct impact of the jobs we spoke of since the inception of Ohio Southeast, creating 12,000, almost 13,000 new jobs that businesses created, we didn't create, government didn't create, companies created, entrepreneurs created, led to almost 11,000 indirect jobs. So those suppliers, that supply chain. And that supply chain led to over 5,500 jobs. Car dealers, insurance, home builders, construction. And then we quantified the construction, over 7,400 construction jobs. So looking at when you start with a project one, and what it leads to as far as that impact, that trickle-down effect does have an impact right here. So the Intels, the Jobys, all the big companies, Honda, LG, it has an impact. It has an impact right here. This is a case study. I was fortunate enough to work on this project specifically back in 2018. AMG Vanadium is a recycler of spent catalysts, so waste that was going into a landfill. They were able to heat it through a melting process and extract vanadium, nickel, and moly. They dedicated 122 jobs they committed to with $6.3 million in payroll. And here's the indirect jobs. Here's the induced jobs. There's the construction jobs. So this payroll, $6.3 million, turned into a payroll of $120 million at the end of the day, once it goes through that cycle. So again, economic development is a large business game, a medium business game, and a small business game. And it's important that we all work together to try to make these things happen, especially in our region. I want to talk a little bit about projects, that the team has worked on, and people in this room have worked on with Sam. Just to highlight some of the great things that are happening here in the community, and looking at General Mills retaining 1,000 jobs. Jobs Ohio was involved in a grant for some investment that's taken place back in 2024 with the pizza lines at the Wellston facility. So the capital of pizza, right here, but that's retention. Expanding your company, investing $112 million, that needs another generation of workers at General Mills. That's important. Retention is very important to our communities. Another project, 42 new jobs, $125,000 grant, investment of $7.5 million in 2003 to expand operations and increase barrel productivity at the facility in Jackson. Another great company. When we look at the heritage, the history, the Wade National Forest, and different things that are happening there. The spec building in Jackson, 30,000 square feet, received a grant for Ohio Site Inventory, so a sites grant. Total investment $3.6 million in that building, the 30,000 square foot building that they have here in the community. That's remarkable. There's not a lot of buildings like this around the 25 counties that we represent. There's not a lot of buildings like this in Ohio. So I know this building's getting a lot of attention, and we'll continue to push this building, working with Sam and his team to hopefully have an end user very soon. Geiger Brothers, which had the opportunity to visit with those folks today, a 20-job project, received $80,000 from Jobs Ohio, leveraging $517,000 in an investment. Very impressed with the company. I think, as you walk through businesses, and you've all been through businesses and talk to people within their business, when you walk through the hall with the plant manager or the chief of operations, and the way the employees talk to each other, the way the employees ask how your day's gone, how they acknowledge just the workplace environment with Geiger Brothers was very impressive. So an impressive company and a company that we hope that we can continue to support in their growth moving forward. So another company, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, 40 new jobs, total investment of $928,000, well spent in 2023. So again, large, medium, and small companies that are in the supply chain, that are receiving business on the supply work that they're doing around the region. So really fueling the future. We're very passionate about energy in the 25 counties. If you picture the map that was up at the beginning, in the central and northern part of our region, it's natural gas company. It's natural gas country. Behind the meter generation. Really working with natural gas, not only bringing it off the ground, the transmission of it, it is big, and things are really coming on strong. There's been some major acquisitions in natural gas as far as companies that have invested in Ohio. If you look in the natural gas space, you look at Eastern Ohio, Western PA, and Northern West Virginia, and if they were a country together, they would be the third largest natural gas producing country in the world. And that's right in our region. That's referred to sometimes as the Shale Crescent region. So we're excited about opportunities in that part of the region on energy. And we have the ability as a region, as a state, to not only fuel Ohio and the Midwest, but fuel our country. And it's important that we're working to bring companies in that are high natural gas users and site them in areas such as this, and bring companies in that want to continue to invest in fueling our nation's economy. And then you come down State Route 23 to Pike County. And, you've all read in the paper the things that are happening in Pike County on the nuclear front. At the end of the day, I think what we read, what we hear, what we're being told is just really a tip of the iceberg of what the opportunity is and what the opportunity can be for nuclear energy in this country. So there's more to stay tuned to when it comes to that. But if you're looking at the 25 county region of Ohio Southeast, it's our mission. It's got to be our mission. Not only to fuel Ohio, fuel the Midwest, but we need to be at the front of the table, the front of the line to fuel this country as it continues to grow in the energy space. And I'm very excited about that and passionate about it. I think when we look at leaders that we have at the federal level, at the state level, we have a lot of our elected officials are sitting on boards. They're sitting on the Federal Energy Board with Congressman Balderson, State Representative Adam Holmes sitting as a state rep, Senator Chavez in Washington County sitting on the Senate Energy Committee. So we got people in our region that are making key policy decisions that could really set us apart. So we're very excited about what's to come on the energy space and what it can do for our entire region and propel growth in the United States. So these are things that we need to continue to take advantage of. Our labor force, looking at the numbers, our quotient, if you look at the labor force that we have, we are well over the United States average in manufacturing labor force and workforce. About 2.94% more in a quotient standpoint. So, for every one worker in the United States that's in manufacturing, we have 3 here in our workforce. So that's important that we continue to support areas of education for manufacturing and also work to try to attract companies, affordable energy. You look at low-cost energy. Energy is coming from here. It's going to be cheaper here. Looking at strategic access, Interstate 70, Interstate 77, State Route 23. We've got a lot of different opportunities around this region. The Ohio River, using as access. But everything is really beginning to align, I believe, for our region and the assets that we have. We're all from Appalachia. I'm from Appalachia. And sometimes we're a little shy to talk about ourselves or talk about how good we are. But now it's our time to talk. It's our time to speak up. It's our time to talk about what we have, the assets that we have. In the 25 counties we represent, in Jackson County, we've got to speak up. We got to let people know, and we got to be talking to our elected officials, our leaders, and telling them the things we have and the things we need. Because the opportunities are right here. They're right here for us to be able to fuel our country moving forward. And the quality of life. Sam, we got to see the quality of life today in Jackson and walking around Jackson and some of the things that are happening. The Appalachian Community Grant projects that have happened across our entire region. That's a facelift to some sorts in some of the areas in our communities that have not seen growth in community development projects for years. So I'm very excited about that. And we're trying to attract companies in. Those companies, those folks, they need to want to live here. They need to want to look at our towns and communities that we're cleaning things up if it needs cleaned up, or we're accelerating some of the growth that we're seeing in some of our communities to make people want to come here, locate here, live here, and raise a family here. So with that, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here today. I value the work that's being done here because it truly does take a village to do the things that is being accomplished here, the things that are accomplished across the region. It takes a great group of folks, and it takes people speaking up when there are needs in communities or there's wants in communities. We've got to speak up. We've got to talk about the areas that we need some help if we need some help. But we also have to talk about the areas that things are going really well. And we have a lot to talk about, a lot to be grateful for. I'm excited for 2026, and I appreciate the opportunity to address this group today. So thank you and good night.
Thank you, Matt. We really appreciate all that your team does. And not to correct you, but my colleagues in the room will certainly understand this. Not so much it takes a village, it takes a region. And our city limits, our county lines, they don't mean what they used to. It takes collaboration and intentional efforts from across many communities to see this success happen. And Jackson County doesn't happen in a vacuum, despite my braggadocious talk and banter with other communities. It takes all of us. So thank you for all of that. Now it comes to a highlight every year for us, and has been for the last few years, I should say, and that is the James A. Rhodes Leadership and Public Service Award. The James A. Rhodes Leadership and Public Service Award was instituted in 2022. The James A. Rhodes Leadership and Public Service Award honors an individual or organization whose enduring commitment to economic development, job creation, and community progress reflects the legacy and spirit of the Jobs Governor, Ohio Governor James A. Rhodes. This award is presented as a look back and acknowledgement of distinguished service, recognizing those who have made a lasting impact on Jackson County's economic vitality and the well-being of its people through visionary leadership, public service, and partnership. And tonight's honorees certainly embody all of those things. And I have a little thing here to read how cue this up, and that is: born in 1945, Phil Bowden grew up in Oak Hill, Ohio, alongside 5 siblings. His father and siblings were involved in the family business that Phil would eventually lead and become synonymous with, the Waterloo Coal Company, founded by his grandfather in 1934. In 1962, Phil headed west to attend the Colorado School of Mines. The trip took 3 days in his old truck, which broke down more than once along the two-lane highways at the time. That journey sparked a lifelong love of the West. Phil often kept a van out there, flying west and pick up his travels right where he left off. Over the years, he rafted the Colorado River through the entire Grand Canyon 12 times, often bringing family, friends, and classmates. When Phil returned home from mining school, he quickly became involved in the operation of the Waterloo Coal Company, expanding its reach throughout Jackson County and surrounding areas. He formed a strong personal connection with the people who worked there and truly admired their character. Many employees had long, successful careers with Waterloo, showing a rare loyalty to the company that reflected Phil's leadership. He made people feel respected, confident, and valued as part of the company. Phil often described himself as a company man, always putting the company's interest before his own. In 1992, he was honored as the Ohio Coal Man of the Year. Beyond Waterloo, Phil also made a lasting impact through real estate development. He played an important role in the restoration and construction of many homes and neighborhood developments. In downtown Jackson, he purchased and restored several commercial buildings, creating spaces where businesses could grow, provide jobs, and strengthen the community. Phil also led the purchase and development of the former McCarty agricultural land, now known as the Salt Creek Industrial Park. Just as Phil was a company man in business, he considered himself a party man in politics. He maintained deep connections with Ohio politics and the Republican Party. While he rarely sought the spotlight, Phil supported the party, its candidates, and its members in meaningful and influential ways. His dedication to mentoring and fundraising for local candidates earned him the Benefactor of the Year award from the Jackson County Republican Party on more than one occasion. Phil also served in many civic and leadership roles, including as a board member of the Ohio Valley Bank, a board member of Holzer Hospital, a state central committee member, and an honorary delegate to the Republican National Conventions. As a lifelong admirer of James A. Rhodes, it is both fitting and a great honor that Phil Bowman is recognized as the 2026 recipient of the James A. Rhodes Leadership and Public Service Award. So on behalf of the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership, it is my honor to present this award to Phil's family, who's here in attendance with us this evening. We are grateful for the opportunity to recognize Phil's extraordinary leadership, service, and lasting impact in our community, and to celebrate the legacy that continues through his family and the countless lives he touched. Please welcome Bo and Denton Miller.
I guess I'm going to say a couple things. I'm very honored, our family's very honored by this award, and I know Phil would have been. He taught me a lot about business for 25 years. I've worked with him side by side, and he always loved this county. That's what he worked for every day, was to provide jobs and do whatever you could do. Even if the times were extremely tough, things were against him, he would still try to find some way to make things work, and he always did. He always did. And I always appreciated getting that knowledge from him. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
One thing that comes to mind is Phil once asked me, well, he told me there was a turtle on the top of the fence post. And he asked me how it got there. And the answer ended up being that he couldn't have got there himself, that other people put him up there. And I think Phil had reciprocating relationships with people. He'd help others, they'd help him. So that comes to mind. There's one word I could use to describe him, that would be charismatic. When he'd come up and speak, it's something you could easily get invested in. Thanks.
So that concludes our agenda for the evening. We do want to thank everyone for taking the time to come celebrate with us. Our accomplishments in the past year, much like that, we are very excited. We see, whereas 25, had a lot of headwinds, a lot of challenges, we expect even more success in 26. I know my colleagues in other counties surrounding us are seeing the same thing. A lot to be optimistic about. So thank you all for doing what you do.